So I think a few more people will trickle in. And I want to talk a little bit today about when you hear me or another teacher say, make the practice your own, or choose to dial it up or dial it down. And hi, Mavis, you may not know where to start with that, or that may be something that you're not quite sure what to do with, especially if the practice is newer for you. So what I want to say about that first is, over time, you'll start to have more knowledge of the practice and you'll be able to do more substitutions for yourself. But you can also begin by observing sensations and starting to trust yourself when a sensation tells you to stop or when it tells you to keep going. That's not always possible. I understand that. I mean, there are lots of times where I'm still not fully attuned to what's happening in my body, and I've been doing this a really long time. But this is all to say that it's a gradual practice. But the other thing that can be in play in a group class in particular is, even if it's unconscious, a sort of trying to keep up with everybody else. And I really celebrate when I see somebody doing their own thing or deciding to rest or choosing one of the options that I give. So what you can do to start this practice of taking care of yourself or making the practice your own is right away decide if you want to learn the mudra today or not. Maybe today you want to opt out of it, or maybe you want to start lying down instead of sitting, or start standing. So if you're sitting, you can find a comfortable seat with the hips slightly elevated, either cross-legged or sitting on shins. Elevating the hips to be above the knees can help the lower back lengthen. And it can help the hips release. If your knees are coming up, you're also welcome to put bricks or blankets under the knees. If you feel holding here in the hip flexors, that's a good indication of needing to put something under the knees. If you're lying down, you could put something under the knees, cover yourself up. And then when you're ready, if you would like to try the mudra, this is called Angushta Mudra. I've done it with some of you in the past. You curl the fingers in gently and let the thumb tips touch each other. If this isn't comfortable or your fingernails are in the way, you could gently hook your thumbs. Showing this around. Yeah, so a hook or the thumb tips touching. Yeah, and then that rests in front of your solar plexus, which is above the belly button and below the ribs. So about midway on your torso. Trying to let the shoulders relax if they can. And take a moment and assess the mudra. Is this comfortable? Would you like to opt out of it? If you're opting out of it, for me, a nice alternative always is Hridaya, this gesture of seeking refuge, right hand on chest, left hand over right. Or you can visualize it. And this mudra is the gesture of inner listening. So starting to listen to the breath. Observe sensations and see if anything else comes up, thoughts or feelings. The idea is try to step back and observe without judgment. Letting the breath continue to flow and become in through the nose and out through the nose, or out through pursed lips. Knowing that you can move out of this position at any time. Or if you need a little bit of movement while you're holding the mudra, you could do gentle rocking or swaying. Yeah, nice, everybody. A few more rounds of breath wherever you are, observing the breath and the sensations, thoughts and feelings. And then anytime you're ready, you can release your hands, whether you're holding the mudra or not. Wiggle fingers, thumbs, circle wrists. If you need to come out of your sitting position and shake out the legs, you can. And you can take any other movement that feels good. Rolling shoulders, twisting, side bending, stretching. Yeah, circling wrists, anything at all. And then when you're ready, we'll open with 3 rounds of Om. You can come back to center, maybe take Anjali Mudra. And you're always welcome to listen or join in. As we chant Om, we're acknowledging that we are the universe and the universe is us. Expansive, limitless, and containing all things. We'll take a couple of breaths together. We'll inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale for Om. Coming back to the center, shaking anything out that you need to. And we'll start with torso circles. Hands on the thighs, long spine, and on your exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, circle back. So one way you can make this your own is decide which version feels good for you. A long spine, an engaged core, or more of an undulating movement. Noticing the movement of your hips and your pelvis, weight shifting. And the next time you come forward, reversing, maybe you take the same version that you did on the other side, or you change it up, a long spine, or more of an undulating movement, feeling the pelvis, the hips, and the torso, the shift of weight. Yeah, coming back to center, releasing the hands. And on the inhale, arms circle up. Exhale, twist to the left. We'll take this as a dynamic movement. Sorry, I didn't mirror you there. Inhale, center, and exhale, other side. moving side to side at your own pace. Seeing if you can focus on keeping the weight evenly distributed between both sides of your seat into your sit bones and lengthening up through the crown of the head. Nice. If you find yourself wanting to hang out in the twist instead of moving, feel free to do that for a few breaths on each side. Yeah, Jeannie. Nice. If you haven't switched sides yet and you're sustaining, take a moment, switch sides. And we'll come back through center. And exhale, let the arms release. Take an inhale and exhale, hinge forward. Hands can walk out in front of you, reaching forward, anchoring into opposite sit bones. And can your hands reach the floor? Yeah, there you go. And then walking over to the right with your hands. You might tent the palms or bring palms down, your choice, and anchor into the left sit bone, your opposite sit bone. Nice. Inhale back to center and exhale over to the other side. Fingers might tent or palms might come down and anchor into your right sit bone. Inhale back to center. And exhale, come upright. Keep going to lean back, stepping the feet out in front of you and rocking the hips side to side. Coming back to center, sitting upright. And we'll take a little wrist warm up breath practice, interlacing the fingers, palms up. Inhale, draw the hands up until you need to flip them and reach up overhead. Exhale, flip them again and bring the hands back down. Nice. Taking that at your own pace with your own breath. And if you want to make this more of a wrist stretch, when you get up to the top here, you can reach through the palms a little bit more. Or you can keep it softer and looser, whatever feels good for you. Yeah, nice. Yeah, and you got it. And then you can continue with this, or you might start to add other movements here. Side bends, bending elbows and rolling the head. Little bit of twisting, or bringing the palms forward and a slight rounding of the upper back, making space between the shoulder blades. Yeah, anything at all. And for me, that meant releasing my hands. You can release anytime you want or keep stretching here. And then we'll come back to center and shake it out. Is it all right if I turn the heat off now? Everybody okay? Yep. So let's make our way onto tabletop. You can put padding under the knees and either bring hands under shoulders or come on to forearms on bricks with elbows under shoulders. If you're on hands, if your finger joints permit, spreading fingers wide and pressing into fingers and thumbs to take load off the wrists. If you're on forearms, elbows are under shoulders and you're pushing into forearms to give you a little bit of leverage here. Moving into cows and cats. Inhale, belly down, tailbone up and shoulder blades together. Exhale, lift mid-back, tuck tailbone and round shoulders. Moving through your cows and cats at your own pace. And if you like, you can add a cat hiss on your cat pose, like this. Inhale through the nose as you come into cow, and exhale. This is another way to lengthen the exhale, but it also gives you an auditory cue to connect with your breath. Now you're welcome to keep moving and breathing in that way, or you can start to come into other movements. You might take left foot to the right as you exhale and look over right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale right foot to the left as you look over left shoulder. Moving side to side. You can take that as many times as you want, or move into other spinal movements such as figure eights with the hips, changing directions when you want to, or rotating the torso in both directions, rolling the head. I see some folks have already found child's pose. You can take child's pose, or maybe do a little cobra. Yeah, Teresa. Nice, everybody. A few more rounds of breath, moving the spine in the way you like, resting. You could try a couple things, see what feels good here. And then when you're ready, let's meet back up in tabletop, and we'll do a little bit of balance here. So you can continue with hands under shoulders or forearms on bricks. And on an inhale, we'll step right foot back, coming to the ball of the foot, and take a moment here. So you're pushing into the ball of the back foot, reaching through the back heel. And then we're engaging the core, which you might find helps draw your outer hips in and reach through the crown of the head. So slight length in the back of the neck, and soften the front ribs into the body. So you're engaging the core and you're making a line from heel to crown of head. When you feel ready, on an inhale, lift that leg to about hip height and notice if your core or your hips tried to release, re-engage, and then take the left arm forward if you like, or keep that left arm down as it was. If that arm is lifted, you're reaching from back heel to front fingertips. Nice. On an exhale, we'll curl in, right knee, left elbow, and inhale back to your sunbird. Taking that a few more times, or maybe you choose to stay in stillness, balancing. Beautiful. Yes. And then after your next inhale, you can exhale, left hand down and right foot steps to the left edge of the mat, opening into a side plank. Right arm reaching out from shoulder or hand at hip. Option here to lift that right foot, flexing through the heel, and taking a kneeling version of half moon pose. Reaching through the heel and the crown of the head and up through the fingers will help you find your balance here. And then on an exhale, coming back to your tabletop and your choice. Rest position, such as child's pose or puppy dog or sitting on shins, or cows and cats. Getting some movement in the pelvis and the back. Few more breaths. And I'm really admiring these socks, Teresa. They're white with red polka dots, everybody. They're fabulous. All right, let's come back to tabletop, meeting up here. If you want to, of course. And stepping left foot back. Finding the ball of your foot, reaching through that heel, and then reaching through the crown of the head. Engaging your core to draw the outer hips in, soften the front ribs, and then option to reach right arm forward, lifting that back foot to hip height. If that right arm is lifted, reaching from that back heel to the front fingers, notice if your core or your hips released, re-engage. And on your exhale, take a curl, left knee, right elbow, and inhale, extend. Nice. Yes, everybody. And remember, the hand or the forearm that is down can help you stabilize, pushing into fingers and thumb, spreading those fingers wide. Beautiful. And the next time you exhale, lowering right arm and bringing left leg to the right edge of the mat, opening up to the left for a side plank. That top arm can reach out from the shoulder, or you can bring the hand to the hip. Lengthening through the crown of the head, and then option to lift that back foot. Feeling into the heel and through the crown of the head and up through the elbow or the fingers of that top hand. Draw toward center line with the core. And exhale back to your tabletop. And one more time. Rest or child's pose. Or cows and cats. Or anything else that feels good for you here. Nice, everybody. Okay. When you're ready, let's make our way into a downward dog. So if you need to pause and take off socks, now is a good time to do that. We'll bring hands under shoulders. Same spread of the fingers that I was emphasizing before. Curling toes and lifting hips up and back. Reaching the sit bones up and then shifting the weight back toward the heels. Don't worry if your heels don't reach. Sometimes they don't. You can pedal it out here, or you can bend both knees and lengthen both legs. If you're noticing that you're having a hard time getting your weight to shift back, you might walk your feet forward an inch or two and see if that makes a difference. Or you can bend both knees. Nice. And then your choice here to get to a standing forward fold. You can walk your hands back toward the feet, or feet walk up toward the hands. So you'll end up at the back of the mat or the top of the mat. Feel free to spread your legs a little wider here for a forward fold. Softening the knees, maybe forearms come to thighs. We can lengthen the lower back and release the head. Or you can release forward, clasping opposite elbows, hands at the neck for some traction. And as many of you know, this is my favorite moment to reset the breath. Inhale through the nose and big sigh out through the mouth. Nice. Beautiful. When you're ready, let's release the hands and move into diver pose, bending the knees. Reaching the arms straight back as you lengthen through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine, and drawing shoulder blades together. Pushing into the feet here and drawing towards center line with the legs. On your next exhale, sweep into chair. Beautiful. Inhale, hands to thighs, tabletop. And exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, diver. Exhale, chair. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, forward fold. We're going to change it up a little bit here. Inhale, diver. Exhale, chair. Inhale, pull up to standing, option to lift the heels for palm tree. And exhale, chair with hands together at the center of the chest. Nice. Take a breath or two here. If it helps, you can walk your feet back under the hips and see if the knees can point forward. On an exhale, twisting to your right, right hand can come to hip and left hand to right thigh. Beautiful. Inhale back to center, hands together at the center of the chest. And exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to left thigh, left hand to left hip. Inhale back to center. Stay for the exhale. And inhale up to standing, right into your little back bend. And exhale, let the arms float down. Walking up to the top of your mat if you're at the back. Find your focus. Find your feet. And reconnect with the breath, in through the nose and out through the nose. When you're ready, I'm moving back, so I step over my blanket here. You might check your blanket position. Inhale, right knee up for flamingo. And exhale, step back into a lunge. You can have that back knee up or down as you like, or you could turn this into warrior one, lowering the heel and angling the back foot out. Arms come overhead and drop down into the feet. On an inhale, elbows come out and down behind you. And exhale, reach up. Beautiful. A few more like that. Inhale, elbows down and back. Exhale up. Nice. Yes. One more. And then on your next exhale, after the arms come up, we'll twist to the left. Arms either out to a T or right hand on left thigh and left hand at left hip. Try drawing towards center line, engaging the core a little bit more. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, step forward into your mountain pose. Beautiful. Take a breath, reset if you need to. And on your inhale, left knee bends for flamingo. And exhale, step back to your high lunge or your low lunge or your warrior one. Arms come up overhead. Take a few breaths here, dropping down into your feet. Nice, everybody. Yes, nice concentration. And when you're ready, inhale, elbows out and then down and back behind you. Exhale, arms up. Inhaling down and back behind you. And exhale, arms up. A few more like that. Nice. And then we'll exhale the arms overhead. And your next exhale after that, twist to the right. Arms out to a T, or left hand to right thigh and right hand to right hip. Push into your feet. Nice. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Yes. Come back through center. And on an exhale, step forward into your mountain pose. Take a pause. Yes. Reset the breath if you need to. You can choose here to stay in stillness, following breath, observing, or maybe you find yourself wanting to move a little bit. Roll the head or sway. Yeah, take shoulder circles. Gentle twisting. Nice, everybody. Free time. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Coming back to center. Releasing the hands. And I know some of you just did shoulder rolls, but we'll do some more. We'll inhale, shoulders up and back. Exhale, down and forward. Taking a few more, trying to stay connected with your breath. Nice. One more in this direction. And we'll reverse, inhale, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Yes. Yeah, Karina, I love it. And then when you're ready, taking shoulders to ears on the inhale. And on the exhale, glide or drop the shoulders down. So if you decide on the drop, you can take a big sigh out through the mouth. Or you can take more of a slow exhale. If you want to add a little retention, if there's no glaucoma or high blood pressure, you can take your inhale and pause here. This works your diaphragm. It's said to clear the mind. And then anytime you like, exhale down. And a few more. And shake it out. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is a little bit like pyramid pose, but with the feet more in line with each other. So I'm going to show you this at a couple different angles. So pyramid is usually each foot in its own lane, a fairly short step back, legs lengthened. You can do that if that feels really nice and stable for you, or if you want to challenge your balance, you can start to bring your feet more in line. So I have my right foot behind my left. You could even bring the feet closer to each other. So you can play around here with that stance. We're going to add spinal movements to this. So you're always welcome to change your mind on your stance. And then we'll release the arms. Well, I said I would change that side view here. And we'll inhale, arms come up. And exhale, side bend either direction. Inhale, back to center. Woo. And exhale, other side. Inhale, take your back bend. And exhale, come forward any amount. You might bring your hands to that front thigh or come lower down. Woo. Inhale, back up. And go right into your side bend on the exhale. So this is interesting to me because it's hard to find your visual focus when you're moving the spine and the head. but you can try to relax the feet and draw the legs towards center line here to help you balance and engage the core. Nice. Yeah. You can also play around with where you're looking to see if that makes a difference. Yes, nice. And then the next time you come up from your forward fold, you can release the arms and switch the legs. So maybe on this side, it's a little different. Legs are a little further apart, side to side and front to back, or maybe they're closer to each other. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms up, exhale, side bend either direction. Inhale, center, and exhale, other side. Inhale for a little back bend and exhale forward any amount. I'm super wobbly on this today. Yeah, there you go, Ann, nice. Yeah, make those adjustments as you like, play around with it. See if the feet can relax. Yeah, Teresa, nice. I see you working it out. Beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful forward fold. Okay. When you feel complete, you can come back through center and release the arms. If you want to keep moving for a few more rounds, go for it. If you don't feel even with the first side. Yes, if you've decided to come to stillness, you can meet up in mountain pose. And if you're still moving, taking your time, but finishing up the set that you're on and meeting back up in mountain pose. Taking one big sigh out through the mouth. And then turning to face the blue wall. So you're facing the long edge of the mat. And stepping the feet out a little wider than hips distance for goddess pose. So toes are angled out. And let's start with the hands together at the center of the chest. We will inhale with the legs lengthened, open the arms out to a T, and exhale, take a big hug as you come into goddess. That means reaching one arm over the other and bending your knees as you come down. Yes. Inhale, lengthen legs, open arms out. And exhale, other arm crosses as you bend the knees into goddess. Moving side to side with the arm cross. Healing your feet against the mat, your tailbone dropping as you come into your squat. Nice. Beautiful. And the next time you come into this big hug and goddess, you can rock your shoulders side to side a little bit. Yes. Come back to stillness. Inhale, lengthen the legs, arms out to a T. Recross the arms into your goddess and rock the shoulders side to side again. Yeah, and you got it. Coming to stillness, inhale into your starfish, legs lengthen, arms reach out. And exhale, release the arms. And you can heel toe your feet closer to each other and step back up to the top of the mat. And let's come down to the floor. So we will inhale, take a back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale up to standing. And exhale, hands together at the center of the chest. We'll take that again. This time we're moving into coming down. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, hands come down. From here, you can step back into your tabletop or your plank, or you can lower yourself down in another way that you like. Beautiful. Exhale into a downward dog. And your choice here, you can take a rest, child's pose, puppy dog, sit on shins, lower knees and take cows and cats, or take a vinyasa, tilting forward on the inhale into plank and through into the back bend of your choice. Curling toes, lifting knees, and exhaling back to your downward dog. And on an exhale, if you're in downward dog, lowering the knees. And we'll all meet up in sitting. My suggestion for this part is a low blanket under the sit bones. We're going to do some variations on Baddha Konasana. And just a little bit of tilt on the pelvis will help here. So Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose or bound angle. Soles of the feet together. And I have my sit bones right at the edge of my blanket to help my lower back lengthen, even a little slight tilt of the pelvis. You can play around with the height of your blanket. And we'll start by fluttering the butterfly wings. Arms can rest anywhere that's comfortable. And then we'll come back to center and bring the hands down to ankles or feet. So you might hinge a little bit here into a forward fold, and you can open the feet up, let them come apart like you're opening a book. And my toes are cold. Feel free to massage your toes here or put your socks back on. And then we'll continue into this forward fold. Hands can rest on legs, or they can come forward to the floor. Anchor into your sit bones. Find your tailbone and line the spine up with the tailbone, including the back of the neck. So a little bit of length in the back of the neck. You're reaching through the crown of the head. Yes. You can come forward a little bit more if it feels okay for you. And then on an inhale, walk back upright and bring your hands either to your ankles or your feet. And you're ready for this. Lift your feet. Yeah, and balance on your sit bones. So here I get wobbly. Find your core. Yeah. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And option 2, start to lengthen one leg and then the other, seeing if you can keep that engagement of the core and lengthen up through the crown of the head. Yes. Or maybe you grab both feet. I totally lost all my core, but here I am. I made it. And then you can come back down. Maybe take another little forward fold here to release the hip flexors and the inner thighs. And then walk back into a little back bend. Here I like to have my pelvis tilt forward, lift the chest. Option to lengthen the back of the neck or keep the chin level and look forward. Leveling out the chin. Bringing the body upright and lengthening the legs into Dandasana, staff pose. Flexing the feet. Hands can be at thighs or behind you for a little bit of leverage. Finding the engagement of the legs. Reaching through the heels. Yes. And then on an inhale, let the legs come apart. And exhale, tilt forward any amount. Hands might be on thighs or shins, floor, or grab for feet. You're trying to keep that same length of the spine so that we did in the forward fold in Baddha Konasana. Find your sit bones, find your tailbone, line spine up with the tailbone, including the back of the neck. Yes. And see if the pelvis can tilt forward, even the tiniest amount. If you need to bend your knees here, feel free to bend the knees. And then on an inhale, walk back up and draw the legs together. And let's do a little bit of back bending. So I thought we would do a camel. And I have a couple of options for you. One is to come back to standing if you prefer not to be on the knees. And you can take this as a standing back bend. Bend the knees, ease the hips forward, drop the tailbone, engage the core, and draw the shoulder blades together. Chin level or back lengthen. Your shoulder blades are really opening the chest there. Or you can come onto a blanket. If the knees are tender, I like to take the knees just past the edge of the blanket so that they're dropping into open space. Takes pressure off. Or if the tops of the ankles feel tight, you can have the feet come off the back of your blanket. You can also have bricks back by your feet. And we'll come up either to your standing position or your kneeling position. Is that okay for you, Anne? You want your blanket under your knees? No? Okay. Okay, all right, just checking. So let's bring hands to lower back. And start to drop the tailbone and ease the hips forward. The torso is still upright here. We're engaging the core and dropping the tailbone to keep crunch off the lower back. Now you might feel your torso start to move as you do this. This is the foundation of your pose. You can start to lift the chest and draw the shoulder blades together. Maybe take the shoulders back and down. And if it feels okay, lengthen the back of the neck and shift your weight back, even as the hips are coming forward and you're dropping the tailbone. Nice. You can level out the chin and inhale, come back upright. And I have a dynamic movement here. So you can keep left hand on the lower back, inhale, right arm up as you ease back. And exhale, release right arm to lower back and inhale, left arm. Trying to keep those principles of the pose that we went over. Moving side to side, dropping tailbone, engaging core, hips come forward, shoulder blades together and down the back. Looking forward or lengthening the back of the neck. If you want to start reaching back for your bricks, you can, or you can continue just like this. Yeah, nice. Beautiful. If anybody wants to try this, hands can come back to the bricks. Shoulder blades together and starting to really engage towards center line with thighs. Yeah. Yeah, Jeannie, now can your hips go forward a little? Yeah, nice. All right, when you're ready, if you're back here, level out the chin and ease up. And then you can take child's pose or come onto the back and draw knees in toward the belly. If you're in child's pose, you might try rocking hips side to side a little bit. You could put support under the forehead or support behind the hips. If you're lying on the back, knees can come in toward the armpits or the belly. Hands can be on shins or behind calves. And reconnecting with the breath. Nice, everybody. Yes. Coming back to center. If you're in child's pose, you can make your way onto your back. If you're already on your back, you can release your feet down to the mat. And let's rock the head gently side to side, breathing naturally. And then we'll take a twist. With left knee bent and foot on the mat, you can draw right knee in toward the body. Your choice here to have that right knee stay bent or lengthen that leg. I have my hands wrapped around the thigh there when I lengthen the leg. And then bringing the arms out to a T, we'll exhale, twist to the left. I adjust my hips to the right here. And then you can have that right leg lengthened or bent, as I said. And left hand can come on top of the thigh or maybe reach for the foot if the leg is lengthened. And notice if that left shoulder can come out from under the body a little bit more. And you can engage your core here to get a stretch in the lower back. And to deepen the twist. Nice. Yes. You can stay here as long as you like, or on an inhale, you can come back through center, release the right foot, adjust the hips if you need to center on your mat. And then draw left knee in toward the body. Again, this left knee can stay bent or you can lengthen it. When you're ready, bring arms out to a T and exhale over to the right with leg lengthened or knee bent. You can bring right hand on top of left thigh or reach for your left foot. Notice if that right shoulder can come out from the body a little bit and look over the left shoulder. Focusing on your exhales here and on your core. I'm coming into your space here, Ravi, sorry. Go. Okay, let's not step on you. And then when you feel even with the first side or complete, you can come back to center. And take either constructive rest, which is knees bent, feet stepping out to the edges of the mat, and knees tilting in toward each other. Sometimes this is nice for the lower back. Or you can take Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees opening out. You can make soft fists and bring them to the crease between butt and thigh for a little support. And reconnect with your breath here. You're welcome to stay here if this is feeling good for you, or you can move into the inversion of your choice. You might take a brick or a bolster underneath the sacrum. Or if you're at home and you don't have props, you can take your hands palm down under the hip bones. If shoulder stand is a part of your practice and you feel stable and comfortable with that, I recommend some height under the shoulders, like a stack of folded blankets to make space for the neck. And then you're welcome here to stay in stillness, feeling the stretch of the hamstrings, reflecting on being upside down. Or you can take movements, toe wiggles and ankle circles, bicycles, scissors, anything at all. If you're enjoying this, you're welcome to stay here, particularly if you're at legs up the wall. Or you could release the feet down to the floor, ease your props out from under you. An option to join me for a little modified fish pose. I've been enjoying this version with the blanket. So taking a blanket at this half fold and folding it into thirds lengthwise. And putting that under the spine. So tailbone comes up to the edge of that, and then you line up the spine on the blanket, let the shoulders open, let the chest open. You might put something under the head or let the throat open here. And bring feet to any position that feels good for your lower back. You might come back to constructive rest or Supta Baddha Konasana or Shavasana legs. Taking a couple of breaths here, and anytime you would like to come out of it, you can roll over to either side and ease that blanket away. Or you can stay here a little bit longer. If you have come out of this back bend, you can take the movement of your choice. Happy baby, your knees into the body and rock side to side. If you're doing happy baby, you can play around with this. You can try lengthening one leg and then the other, or doing a reclined lateral splits, lengthening both legs. You can also play around with lifting and lowering your tailbone. And of course, raspberry noises. And then as you're ready, you can take any last movement that feels good for you. Maybe you wanted a little bit of reclined pigeon. We didn't do that today. Or a little bit of bridge pose. Or anything else. If you're ready to start setting up in your Shavasana, you can take the restorative position of your choice. And I had you grab a sandbag. So you have the option here to put this on your feet or on your very lower abdomen. So if you were in Baddha Konasana, for example, you could put it over your feet, or you could take it across the hip bones at the lower part of the abdomen. If you're at home and you don't have a sandbag, you could take a folded blanket across the belly or the feet, or a pillow, just a little bit of weight here. This can help feel grounding, and also bring a little bit of awareness to the body. I'll come around and get you all set up here if you need it. There you go. Beautiful class today. Yeah. Laura, you're good. Yeah. Nia, you have everything you need. Yeah. Robbie, are you warm enough? David, you look comfy. Yeah. Great. You want this foot covered, or is that out on purpose, like balancing the heat distribution? Mavis, you look comfy. And Jeannie, are you good? Sorry, boo. Teresa, Eileen, you okay? Yeah, on your feet or your belly? Yeah. That good? Okay. All right, Teresa, you okay? Yeah. All right, friends. I know it's already pretty light in here, but I'm going to turn these lights off so they're not in your eyes. And as always, you're welcome to take the Shavasana that you need today. If you feel yourself drifting away into a nap, please feel free to follow that. Just let it go and go into a little doze. Or you might lie here. If it feels safe to you, you might simply lie here observing what you're experiencing. Sensations, breath, thoughts and feelings. That's not always relaxing. So if you want to follow the sound of my voice for a little bit of pranayama and guided meditation, you're welcome to follow the sound of my voice. Sometimes that feels safer. If you're following the sound of my voice, you can begin to feel the back of the body. And as you breathe, you might notice any slight movement in the back of the body, anywhere at all. And it might be very slight, just seeing what you can observe as you breathe. And then coming to the torso and observing where you feel the breath move in the torso. It might be anywhere at all, belly or ribs, chest or upper back. You might even feel it a little bit in the throat or anywhere else. And breathing in any way that feels natural and comfortable to you. Noting, of course, that as soon as you observe the breath, that changes it. But you can begin to take information from the breath. You can notice the texture and depth and pace of the breath to give you information about what you're experiencing or feeling. And seeing if you can do that as a witness. So there's no right or wrong here, just observing the information from the breath. You're welcome to continue with this observation if this is interesting and useful for you. Or if you'd like to become a little bit more deliberate with the breath, you can begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Beginning to even out the inhales and the exhales if that's available to you right now. You could do that by counting. You might inhale and exhale to a count of 2 or 3 or 4, whatever feels most comfortable. And then if you like, turn this into belly breathing, allowing the belly to expand gently on the inhale and draw back toward the spine on the exhale. Starting to assist the diaphragm so that you're breathing in a little more deeply and exhaling a little bit more completely. And if you're already counting the breath, you can double the length of your exhale. Count your inhale and make the exhale about twice as long. Or if you prefer, breathe in through the nose and out through pursed lips. Lengthening the exhale to calm the nervous system. You can take this practice as long as you like and let it go at any time. Asato ma Sadgamaya. Amaso ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityoma Amritangamaya. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Lead me from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. Peace, peace, peace. You're welcome to stay just as you are for the remaining few minutes of class, or you can begin to move as you need to. You might wiggle fingers and toes, wiggle the nose and stretch out the face, rock the head, and begin to take any other movements that feel good, stretching the arms, maybe bending the knees and rocking the hips. Taking your time. And when you feel ready, if you would like to come up, you can roll over to either side and make your way up to any comfortable sitting or standing position. Taking the mudra of your choice, including Anjali mudra for reverence or gratitude. That can be reverence and gratitude for anything at all. Hridaya, right hand over chest, left hand over right, seeking refuge. Or fingers curled in, thumbs touching, Angushta mudra for inner listening. And we'll close with 3 ohms and 3 shantis. As always, you're welcome to listen or join in as you like. With Om, we're acknowledging that we are the universe and the universe is us, expansive, limitless, and containing all things. And with Shanti, we bring peace to all of that. We'll inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale for Om. 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 Shanti, 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 Shanti. Thank you for coming to share your practice, for coming to take care of yourselves, and in so doing, supporting each other. Whether you're here online or watching the recording later, we are all connected. Thank you so much for coming and starting to make the practice your own. Right, friends, I'll turn off the recording.